to Top Flight Films. What's going on? Big shout out to everybody that's gonna slide through the building. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Today's topic, the viral Philly shooting. I'm not sure if everybody has seen it. It's been a video floating around of a shooting that happened in Philadelphia. And today we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have to get honest. We're gonna have to get honest. Um, I would like some people to come up in here first. If you're familiar with the topic, if you're from Philly, tap in. Talk to me. I'm going to say some things today. I'm going to say some things today. I'm going to say some things today that that people might not like and some people may agree with. So, if you're from Philly, I need you to tap in, weigh in. If you was out on that block last night, the night before, was it last night? I think it was last night. If you was out on that block last night, please tap in, tell me your thoughts, give us some information. But I'm going to speak on what I know so far. And I'm going to just get right to it, man. You can catch the playback. I don't want to get to the comments yet because they kind of like throw me off. Last night, Philadelphia, it was a shooting. A really crazy scene. Today the video's been going viral, and what you see a cookout that goes left. And on the Ring doorbell camera footage, what you see is a bunch of party goers trying to duck and hide and blend in with the porch. Like they really tried to become one with the wood because the shots were blazing. And what you see is a couple of cats come up with the pew-pews. One of them had a switch. I think it was 3 shooters that I saw from one end. And they were having a shootout live on the Ring camera. Very disturbing footage. Shout out to Italy, man. Shout out to Marco. I hit the like button when y'all come in here. Hit the subscribe button. Very disturbing video. This is happening all over the country, major cities. It seems as though it's like a game of GTA. It seems as though the violence has progressed so much that the artillery that they're using, it's different out here, man. It's different. And today what we're going to talk about is we're going to address this issue. I haven't really addressed this issue like that on this page, but that video did something to me. And it's time to have a conversation. You dig? It's time to have this conversation. One thing I will not do is call it black on black crime. I won't call it black on black crime. Because there is no Chinese on Chinese crime. There is no Mexican on Mexican crime. There is no white on white crime. There are no terms. They're not compartmentalized. You dig? There are no titles of these things. It only applies to us. It's only black people that have black on black crime. So I'm not going to address this as black on black crime. I'm going to call it crime. I'm going to call it what it is. It's crime. You dig? I'm very familiar with being on the scene, right? And I want to give some advice to people that just have to be on the scene. There was a guy, I forgot his name. He was shot 7 years ago. He was in a wheelchair. He got killed last night. He had got shot when he was 17 years old. He was in a wheelchair. From that shooting, he got caught in that crossfire and he got killed. He was also a gun advocate, an advocate for nonviolence. If you've seen the video, chime in. I want you to tell me your thoughts on the video. And I'm gonna get to the comments here in a minute. Okay, so, you know, we all know that a lot of these inner cities, a lot of these towns in America, what you have is a lot of gun violence, right? And again, we're not going to label it as black on black violence because that's what the dominant society likes to label it as. And the reason why black on black violence is problematic is because it puts us in a box like we're the only ones that do crime. You dig? And that's not the truth. The truth is everybody does crime. The dominant society, Caucasians, white people do crime. And it's funny because a lot of times, like I'm on the internet and I'll see people talking about us and they don't do crime. And it's just absolutely absurd to me. We know the Mexicans and Latins and Hispanics. We know about the crime. We know about the crime in their homeland, right? We know about the crime that they commit. The cartels chopping heads off. They'll hang you from a bridge. You understand? But let me tell you something. The crime in Chicago, the crime in Philadelphia has nothing on the cartel. It has nothing on what goes on in Mexico. You dig? They'll come for your mother. They'll come for your kids. That's what they'll do. If you owe some money, you owe $100,000, they'll come for the whole family. You won't have a family. You dig? So when people try to look at black people like we're just the most violent, just burdensome group in America, man, we cannot push that narrative because it's false. Ours is heavily promoted. Our crime, the crime that is committed within the black community, ours is just pushed to the forefront. And a lot of other crimes, you don't hear nothing about them, right? I'm talking about the biker gangs, Hell's Angels, the Italian mob, right? I'm talking about everything that goes on, the Chinese syndicate. I don't even know the name of these, the triads. You don't hear about those crimes. You don't hear about no other crime but black folk. You don't hear about no other crimes but Chicago and Baltimore and DC and Philly. You dig? But with that being said, I gotta address my people. I gotta address my people, man. And that's why I'm here today. And a lot of people not gonna like what I have to say. Some people might agree. But I get tired of seeing these videos. I get tired of us giving these people ammo to post and share and cherry pick, because you know that's what goes on. People cherry pick. They'll skip right past Scooter the school shooter. They'll skip right past the chomos, right? They'll skip past the guy that's stealing hedge funds, right? And they'll go straight to Chicago, some low-level drug dealers that are having a shootout, right? Because it's like a deflection. But I'm going to speak on my people today, man, and I'm very familiar with the climate of today's atmosphere, and I want to say that if this continues, right, especially with Donald Trump in office, right, y'all are making the block hot. Y'all gonna make it real hot for us right now. Right now, Donald Trump is not really messing with us, dog. He's not really doing nothing to harm foundational black Americans. We're kind of like out the way. But what y'all gonna end up doing is, and I'm talking to the younger brothers, and not all of them, because it's a very small percentage. We got to put this thing in perspective. It's a small percentage of black people that do crime. And majority of black folks in the community, we do not condone the crime. We don't want the crime. And we denounce the crime. You dig? That's the difference. We as a whole denounce the crime. But you have a small sector. But the problem is that small sector in videos like what we saw today in Philly are going to become an issue. And when they start stopping frisk, when they start taking y'all's privacy, when they start surveillance, when they start locking y'all up for years and years and years, when things start going crazy and the focus becomes back on us, because we got to remember, it was always been on us. The focus has always been on us, from the crack laws, you did, going, getting a life in prison for like an 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? It kind of got laxed a little bit. And right now, America's focused on cleaning up the immigration problem. So my fear and my concern is, while everybody's at the cookout and some of these little youngins want to test out their new Glock switch, or they want to turn shit up, my concern is the attention will be diverted to us at some point. Again, it will be diverted back to us. Now, let me say this, man. I see what's going on out here. And black destruction is a billion-dollar industry. I'm talking about from the music to Love and Hip Hop, reality show, Zeus baddies, you dig, to what you see on the news every day. It's a billion-dollar industry. To the prison system, black destruction is a billion-dollar industry. And what we need to start doing is we need to start holding people accountable. For me, where are the mothers at? That's what we got. Where are the parents at? And that's a rhetorical question, because I know where the parents is at. You dig? Mom and them they at the club shaking ass. Let's just keep it real, man. Mom and them is at the club shaking ass, twerking the sexy red, man. And I'm not talking about all my people. I'm talking about the mothers and fathers of these bad-ass kids that shooting shit up. That's who I'm talking about. You dig? What the hell is going on, man? Where's the parenting at? The problem is, and I know firsthand how this happens. I know firsthand mothers who raise their kids to be street niggas. I know firsthand mothers that raise their kids to be street niggas, and they think it's cool. They think it's cute. They wouldn't have it any other way. I know personally mothers that actually stray their kids in the direction of a street nigga, because that's what they feel like they should be. They would be embarrassed if their son was anything else other than a street nigga. You dig? And that's an issue. That's a problem. We all know a lot of this crime, it stems from poverty. We know it stems from lack of resources and lack of opportunity. But there's absolutely no excuse, man, for a cookout to get shot up. It was like 12 people died or something like that. 5 people died or something like that. Nisha Fields, what's going on? Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get to the comments in a second. It's time to tighten up, man. And you know, I'm just really speaking into the wind, because I can't tell anybody how to raise their kids. You dig? I can't tell anybody how to raise their kids. But at some point, man, we got to start speaking up, man, and telling these losers. There's a lot of losers out here. A lot of deadbeat fathers. It's a lot of fathers that condone their kids being a street nigga. They say if your son is a street nigga, you failed as a father. You dig? And I agree. We're not taking any responsibility away from the system that's been put in place. I don't care. It can sound extra woke. It can sound extra woke, but there's absolutely a system, was and is a system put in place for these areas to be the way that they are. You dig? the way the influx of guns go into these communities, the way the drugs get into the communities. You dig? We can't take that responsibility away from the dominant society. That's why I'm a big reparationist. A lot of y'all not gonna like that neither. I believe reparations is the only way out. Now I want to also say this. I know a lot of crime in the cities, and I need y'all to listen real close. And I don't want to offend nobody, but I gotta tell the truth. A lot of this crime that's going on in these cities, it's not foundational Black Americans. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of the brazen crime, switches, killing everybody, that is not foundational Black Americans. A lot of these people are immigrants. Let's keep it a buck. We gotta keep it a buck. A lot of these people are Black immigrants. We have to be very clear, man, because we get the rap for it. A lot of the gangs that I know of is mostly immigrants. You dig? And shout out to, and I'm not even blaming immigrants as a whole, but we gotta put the proper lens on this thing. It's a fact that, it was a group called the Shower Posse from New York. The Shower Posse. They showered shit. They showered shit with bullets. You dig? Minnesota. Who all is familiar with the gangs in Minnesota? The Somali gangs in Minnesota. Who's familiar? Who's familiar with the Somali gangs? I didn't know this until of recent, but it's in Minnesota. There are Somali gangs out here going crazy. Some good people that I know personally. GS9. Shout out to the Brooklyn brothers. But y'all know most of those cats are not foundational Black Americans. You dig? We can talk about the KKK gangs, bro, but right now, I'm holding my people accountable. Right now, I'm addressing the issue head on. We can talk about the KKK gangs, but let's just keep it real, man. There was no KKK people on that video. There was no KKK people on that video. You dig? There was no white people on that video last night. Yeah, Somali gangs. Go look it up. Jordan Downey, go look it up. So, hey, look, man. I hope Philly can get it together, man. I don't know what the leadership is doing out there. The Democratic leadership. That's what it is. It's Democratic leadership in all of these cities, man. All of these cities got Democratic leadership. What are they doing to stop the violence? What are they doing to stop all this? Kong Light Management said, name the top known Black gangs and where they originated from. Yeah, look here, homie, Kong Light. I'm not taking away the fact that FBAs were gang banging and still are. Do your own research, homie. Find out what I already know. I'm just putting you on some game. Look at it, Holmes. Like, FBAs, for the most part, we don't really gang bang like that no more, man. It's not a lot of gang banging going on. You see what I'm saying? It's really not. I mean, think about this. You got the Zoes, the Haitian Zoes. I'm talking about these are some of the most treacherous gangs. You dig? Hey, don't get mad at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what's real. We got to be honest, man. We got to be honest. So, we haven't seen this type of violence, man. We haven't seen this type of violence. We wasn't doing this shit. This wasn't, even with our gangs, like FBA gangs, there was a rhyme and a reason. You did, even if the reason was stupid, even if they had a different color on, it was still some sort of rhyme or reason. It wasn't just shoot everybody up, shoot the block up. It wasn't all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Siani B says, not a lot to live for. Create opportunity and crime goes down. Yeah, listen, I'm very big on reparations. I believe the only way that this is going to get cleaned up. People always want to talk about the black community, right? But when we bring up reparations, they're like, no, you're not getting reparations. Okay, so which one is it? Do you care about the black community or no? And it's not a handout. Reparations is not a handout. That's not something we're asking for because it's going to help. No, that's a debt that's owed. And the reason why we're in this predicament, the reason why you not really, yeah, the reason why we're in this predicament is because of what happened in the past. If you let a bunch of slaves go with nothing, they have no generational wealth. You build the country off the generational wealth. They got nothing. Their families got nothing. But PTSD, post-traumatic slave disorder. You see what I'm saying? That's all we were given. We were, look, my ancestors built this whole country. My ancestors built this country. And the only thing that we were handed down was post-traumatic slave disorder. Everything that you know, all these corporations, Johnson Johnson, JP and Morgan, everything that was built off of slave labor, everything was built off of the equity of slave. We were the first commodity on Wall Street. And when we bring up reparations, right, people automatically start shitting themselves. They really get upset. You dig? And they were like, well, I wasn't a slave. Well, I didn't benefit from slavery. Yes, you did. Everybody benefited from slavery. You did. Don't do the Irish thing because the Irish thing is bullshit, dog. The Irish, look, and I've broke this down many times. That myth has been debunked. I don't know how many times. Okay, the Irish were indentured servants, and once they got hazed, once they went through the hazing process, they were able to oppress black people too. Okay, so which one is it? We know about the Irish and the police force. We know about the Irish and the KKK. We know about all that, dog. So you're at the wrong channel to try to pull that Irish thing. You know what I'm saying? That's old. That's old. Yeah, it's absolutely debunked. Listen, whenever, hey family, look, whenever anybody tries to tell you about this Irish thing, they'll try to uh, minimize the 300 years of slavery we went through for a couple of years of indentured servitude. And they got money, they got paid, they got freedom dues, they got guns and land and all this other stuff. This is what the Irish got. Go look it up. So you can't pull that shit over here. You dig? Yeah. Open says who's paying reparations? The US government owes reparations. You dig? The US government owes reparations. Trey Chastain says forgotten, oh, what the hell did he say? He says, forgotten history breaks down slavery. This dude is wrong. Listen, just saying that is not going to change the facts. Anybody can go look it up. Go. I want everybody, okay, since Trey said I'm wrong, I want everybody to go look up the truth. Google the truth about Irish slavery. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Trey's word for it. Matter of fact, take Trey's word for it. He said I'm wrong. Take Trey's word for it. Go look it up right now. Randy Bowen said America had less slaves and a bunch of black slave owners. Well, let's debunk that bullshit right now too. And I've done it many times over here because that's what we do. The black slave owner thing was really about certain slaves got their freedom so they would buy back their family. See, we had to buy our family So technically, they were slave owners because they had to buy back their family. That's what went on this soil. I know y'all don't like to talk about it. I know y'all don't like to talk about it. It's a dirty little secret, man. Y'all don't want us to talk about these things. That's why y'all try and get it out to school. I know it doesn't make you feel proud and good because it's horrible. It was a horrible travesty. But instead of running from it, it's time to make it right. And I didn't even plan on coming here talking about reparations neither. You dig? Livy, what's going on? Tago, what it do? Ion says, see how much he is struggling? Watch his eyes. There's so much love for people left. All the tears that he dropped was meant to us to see how hurt he have been. I don't know what you're talking about. T Child says, real talk. Shout out to T Childs. Rofrigo, races are too comfortable on this app. Now I love it. Rofrigo, I love it. I love when they come over here being racist because they just prove the point. Because they'll tell us, look, it's not racist. There's no more racism. But then they'll come over here and you'll see a whole chat full of racism. Watermelon emojis, fried. I just had watermelon. Fried chicken. I made fried chicken last night. I made some banging fried chicken last night. The Don Dilly says, I'm sure you know your own history and I won't argue that. But please don't insult me because I know my history. I'm Irish. Okay, sir, I'm going to tell you again. Go look it up. Everybody can go look this up. The Irish didn't really go through shit, dog. They were indentured service, man. Yeah, they got treated like shit for a little bit. You can't compare it to what my ancestors went through. They came to a country that was already built by us, okay? They came to a country that they heard about this country called America where people were getting all kind of goodies from free black labor. So they decided to come over here. But when they got over here, they weren't considered white. So they went through some things. Yeah, they had to do some indentured servitude. They had to go through the hazing process. Once they were done the hazing process, they got goodies. They got treats. They got reparations. And then they were allowed to be white, and then they were allowed to oppress. You dig? So we can't separate the two. Antonio Sandoval says the word slave is a Slavic word. I love it, man. Look, I love seeing the people cope. Let me tell you, man, I know that a lot of the dominant society, I know a lot of white people were taught a certain history. I get that. I'm not mad at you. You only know what you know. You only know what you know. But you got to dig deeper because the history that you were taught, of course, why would they teach you history that makes your past look unfavorable? Why would you want to run around and agree with me? You did? Why would you want to agree with and really look into the facts of what really went on? Yes, Cologne Coin says, built by black. No, it wasn't. Okay, Cologne, who was it built by? Who built the United States of America? Who built it? The collector says Irish and others did not have it like us black people. The collector, I think they know. I think they know that. They just try to cope. You dig? Just a white boy said Africans sold Africans. Yeah, they did. And they need to pay reparations too. I'm not African. I'm a foundational black American. So the Africans need to pay reparations as well, sir. Along with the US government. You dig? I'm waiting for dude to tell me who built America if we didn't do it. Who built America if we didn't do it? And if they had people to do it, why the hell do they need us? Why do they have to enslave millions of people? If we were so invaluable and we didn't do it, why in the hell are we here? Why were our ancestors enslaved? They wanted us to do what? Oh, I heard. Oh, you said build. I heard you say build. I heard you say that. I heard you say that. Yeah. Alexander said, America, USA built us, we the people. All the same talking points, the coping mechanisms, the everyone was enslaved by the rich. Come on, cuz. Some of this stuff is not even worth debunking. Dre said, I thought all of us blacks were from Africa. Everybody in the world has DNA that goes back to Africa. Even the racist white people on here that's talking crazy. Everybody in the world has DNA that goes back to Africa. We foundational black Americans are not African. Okay? America is our homeland. We built this country. You dig? Ask Donald Trump. Everybody that disagrees with me, go listen to Donald Trump because he tells you the truth. Right? I know all y'all Trumpers, y'all Trump fans, right? Trump said African Americans built this country. So don't tell me who the fuck didn't build the country just because you don't like the way it feels or sounds. You don't like the way it feels or sounds because you really want us to be the bottom of the barrel. You really want us to not be as important as we are. We are very important to this country. I'm talking about super important. We are the secret sauce of this country, dog. You understand? And if you really be honest with yourself, you would understand that. Yeah, Trump, he told the truth. Oh, let me guess, you don't believe it. Uh, Coulter Davis says Chinese got enslaved bad here. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Listen, y'all. Listen, I'm not even going to address a lot of these crazy talking points because really you're just trying to minimize. And when you try to minimize something, that means you're trying to cope. You're making excuses. You dig? And you don't want reality to be what it is. You dig? You want us to shut up about this stuff. That's the reality. Hey, listen, guy. Hey, listen, guy. The Chinese had it bad. The Irish had it bad. Everybody was enslaved. This is what you want us to do. You want us to be quiet. But guess what? When 9/11 rolls around in 2 months, what are you all gonna have? You all gonna have ceremonies. And what is the theme of the ceremonies? The theme of the ceremonies are going to be what? Never forget, right? And you all have the liberty, right? You all have the right, and you all unapologetically talk about 9/11, right? Where you at? Don't run away. Don't run away. Mike W. said, no, the black man had it worse than everyone, even the Indians. That's the truth. No one had it worse than, man, talk to these people. See, they already know, bro, and that's why I'm not really tripping because one thing I've come to accept is they know. They just don't want to hear it. And I'm not really here to try to convince anybody because what's understood does not have to be explained. You dig? Boy. The Collector says, thank you for telling the truth, brother. Hey, shout out to you, the Collector. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Even you guys that agree, you guys should subscribe and like the channel, like the video. Metal Squirrel Gamer says, obviously there were people who had it worse. Like who? Who, sir? Let me tell you how we know. Let me tell you how it is evident we had it the worst. Because we have the most moral currency in America. We have the most moral currency. Foundational black Americans have moral currency. If it wasn't for us fighting for civil rights, I'm talking about we had to fight. Ancestors died just so y'all can be civilized. Just to be civil. You understand? We're the moral currency of this goddamn country. You dig? And guess who else knows this? The rest of the world knows this. The whole world knows foundational black Americans have more a high moral currency here in America, and a lot of people they've shaped their civil rights movements after ours, after our ancestors. Kimberly Whittington says, my best friend in kindergarten was black. That's what's up. Gifted Fox says, without the African Americans, the U.S. wouldn't be the same. Gifted Fox, where you from, man? What country you from? Please tell us what country you from, because these people need to hear this. You dig? Number one, it would not have happened without us. America would not have happened without us. Y'all know when they came over here to build these colonies, they failed and they started eating each other. Y'all know that. Go do your history. They had to come get us. Some of us were already here. Some black folks were already here. Are you hearing me? Some black folks were already here. Some were bought on a slave ship. Some were sold by Africans. And those African countries, they don't exist anymore, but they need to pay reparations as well. You dig? Because we turned into a whole new group of people. We are not Africans, okay? We turned into a whole new group of people, foundational black American freedmen. All business says, tell the truth. We were here already, absolutely. Zachary Hall says, a lot of African tribes were cannibals. That has nothing to do with me. I'm a foundational black American. Patrick Keyser says, always begging for money. Sir, does it look like I'm begging for anything? Does it look like I'm begging for your money? No. No, if you lend somebody some money, if you do some work for somebody, right? If you go put a roof on somebody's house, right? They supposed to pay you, right? You did it for free. Wouldn't you be asking for your money? So we're asking for our money. Sealed indictment says, if you were here, Saduki Anubu says, reparations. Shout out to you, brother. Absolutely, reparations. We need that now. Trey W. Warchild says, we are the Israelites. Man, shout out to my Israelite brothers. I don't particularly subscribe to that, but shout out to my Israelite brothers. You dig? E says, reparations to who? You weren't a slave, and neither was your dad. I gotta get more clever, man. It should be, at this point, man, you should be able to say something new. You dig? You should say some new stuff. Nisha Field says, they just want attention. No, they really in their feelings, man. That's what it really is. Tanya Zion says, anyone in the chat trolling, we don't care. Now, we absolutely don't care. I love it. Once they start getting in their feelings, man, that truth starts to set in. You dig? That truth really starts to set in on them. You dig? Patrick Keyser says, why would I pay for something that had nothing to do with me? It had everything to do with you, dog. You benefit off of slavery, dog. You benefit off the unearned labor that my ancestors did. And really, it's the U.S. government that needs to pay. You understand? That's just the way it is, man. Look, y'all about justice, right? Are you all about justice? I want to ask a question. Do you all believe in justice? So you mean to tell me that they enslave a group of people for 300, 400 years, 236, whatever number it was, way too long. They let them go. The people that they enslaved, they built the goddamn country. They were the first commodity on Wall Street. They built the economy. They built this wealthy economy of this great nation. They let them go with nothing. And y'all say that you're patriotic. You say that you're patriotic, but you're against that? Come on, man, I thought we were patriots. D. Knight says, this is native land, my brother. This is, yeah, Aboriginal. and native. They were red natives, and they were aboriginal black people here. You dig? Yes, it was. Tootie, what's going on, mama? Tootie says, we are still impacted by the events of slavery. Absolutely. Hence the title and the topic of this video. Everybody wants to talk about Chicago. Everybody wants to talk about Washington, D.C. Everybody wants to talk about the quote unquote black on black crime. They want to talk about these neighborhoods. They want to talk about all this stuff. They don't want to put any solutions forward. All they want to do is try to cherry pick and point things out. For me, the reason why we even talk about reparations, because I believe the solution to a lot of this stuff is reparations. The solution to what you see going on in a lot of these cities is reparations. You dig? Daddy Natty says, where do you live? I live in Cumberland, Maryland. Gia Jolie says, I can't stand when people bring up Native Americans as if they don't have reservations. Absolutely. They got theirs. I know people personally. It's a family of 3. It's a chick and her 2 sons. They get $900 a month. They get a check. I'm talking about each. They get $900 a month because of the atrocities that they went through. You dig? See, one thing I learned is a lot of people would rather the money go to Ukraine. They are actually putting out billions of dollars for the Jewish people. Y'all know that? I bet you're not in the uproar about that. I bet you're not going to storm the goddamn Capitol for that. They just signed something to where they are spending $1 billion on anti-Semitism prevention. Did y'all know that? So the thing is, man, I noticed a lot of the people, like the people in the chat, they would rather the USA throw $1 trillion in the ocean before they pay reparations. Supreme says, we're not going to talk about the canal, railroads, and infrastructure that the Irish oh, God. Oh, come on, man. Come on. The Irish got here late, y'all. Come on, man. You got to get your chronology in order, man. You sound uneducated. Come on. You got to do better than that, man. You guys are making yourself look really incredible. You understand? Jungle Forever says, oh my effing God, he really brought up J6. Wait until you find out what really happened that day. But bro, we saw what happened. Man, me and my girl was sitting around and we was watching the TV, and I saw those people storm that Capitol. I hit her on her shoulder. I said, watch this. I said, they're about to die. I said, they're about to get mowed down. Nope. They killed police out there. Not the Blue Lives Matter crowd. Stomping police, hitting them with fire extinguishers. Not the Blue Lives Matter crowd. No, y'all love police. I thought y'all loved the police. You dig? And then the cherry on top is they got pardoned. And the thing is, I was mad about that at first, but I'm like, you know what, man? Donald Trump, he's a man of his word. Donald Trump is a man of his word, and he looked out for his people, and that's honorable. And I even respect the J6s. I respect the fact they stood on business for what they believe in. But that's not going to take away the fact that they got white privilege. That's not going to take away the fact they got white privilege. If me and my homies ran up in the Capitol and the police got a scratch on his ankle, okay, I would never see the light of day again. You understand? And y'all know that. Daniela Alves says black fatigue. Alves, are you of Hispanic descent? Are you a Mexican, Alves? You have black fatigue? Please answer that question. Daniela Alves, where are you from? What is your ethnicity? Oh, I got them mad tonight, boy. They are mad tonight. K-Way 96, what it do? I appreciate you. Bebo says, this guy's a definition of simpleton. No, you're just mad. You don't have to throw ad hominems, you're mad. All right, let's just keep it a buck. Got it? All right, I already read that. Shout out to Japan, Harumi. Shout out to you, homie. Kimberly Whittington says, what about the black back in the biblical days when in Egypt that the News were enslaved by Egyptians for over 400 years? Well, if you talking about something that was going on in the Bible, we can't really have that conversation as a factual, historical conversation. You dig? You can't really do that. That's not really, yeah. Japan, I see Japan is in here real heavy. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe for me, man. Hit the subscribe button for me. Um, Cedric C said I would never vote for Trump. Shout out to Trump, man. I'm not mad at Trump. I'm not mad at Trump, man. I tell you what, he's better than the other candidates. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. Loso 8891 says they are hypocrite and never take accountability. Yeah, pretty much. Kenny G Walk says black obsession. Yeah, it's not black fatigue. Hey, yeah, I like that. It's not black fatigue, it's black obsession. Yeah, that's right. Skylar says sending black people free money doesn't work. No, Skylar, the money was already worked for. The government just didn't pay. So it's not free money. The the money was already worked for. The labor was already done. The killings, the rapings, the brutal, harsh living conditions, the women and kids picking cotton all day in the heat. You dig? Come on, man. And yeah, listen, come on, man. Rick List says, quit playing the victim. I'll quit playing the victim when I stop being a victim. I am absolutely a victim, okay? Man, all of the same bullshit. I just say the same shit. Cedric H says, oh my God, they sound dumb. Yeah, they really do. Kenny G Walk says, that's why you're here. That's why I'm where? What do you mean? Kenny G, where is your family from? When did they immigrate to America? Because we didn't immigrate. Let me tell y'all something. While I got y'all nice and mad, let me make y'all a little madder. Black people are the only, foundational black Americans are the only non-immigrants. You dig? Besides the Native Americans. We are the only non-immigrants. We are the real patriots. You understand? Get that real right, man. Get that through your head, man. Yeah, I'm a victim. What do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? I mean, we gotta be honest, right? Let me guess. You want me to lie to myself, and you want me to lie to other people because it makes you feel comfortable, right? Look at P. Diddy. I want y'all to look at P. Diddy, for instance. Look at Diddy. Diddy's a victim. He's a billionaire victim. Y'all, we can break this shit down if y'all want, man. Look, y'all will say, y'all say things like, well, you're not broke. You, you got Michael Jordan. You got Oprah Winfrey. You're not victims. Look at P. Diddy. He's in a federal detention center right now. He's in a federal detention center with no bond for a prostitution charge. Do you understand that? They brought Diddy up on bogus charges that nobody should have prosecuted. They got him a RICO with no surveillance, no wiretaps, no nothing. That's unheard of. Diddy is absolutely a victim. And y'all not gonna like that one either. Josh Cope. My man's name is Cope. My man's last name is Cope. That's perfect. Josh, you and your relatives are deep in this goddamn chat. It's a lot of coping going on right now. A lot of coping. Miles Friedman says, Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson, and Michael Jackson was all innocent too, right? Absolutely. Why do you think Bill Cosby got out of jail? Why? Since you answer this, smart guy. Why did Bill Cosby get out of jail? Why did Michael Jackson get acquitted twice? Why did O.J. Simpson get acquitted? You just gave 3 bad examples. Matter of fact, they're very good examples of victimization. King Rambo says, no, the Native Americans aren't us, and they not of this land. They came here from Mexico. Our MF know them white-looking natives, them are $5 Indians. Go read. Yeah, okay. Well, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, the red natives, some of them were here. Let's just be real. Some of them were already here. Aboriginal black people, we were here as well. You did? So, yeah, man. We gotta be honest. Giorgio says free Diddy. Yeah, free Diddy, man. Edward Young is lying. He said O.J. Simpson wrote a book and said he did it. You've been watching too much internet, man. Rick List says you give us blacks a bad name. Sonic Boom TV, what it do, homie? Sergio says free Diddy. King Rainbow says fact, brother. Shout out to you, homie. N says no. Diddy is a grown man making grown man decisions. He got out here thinking he was Hugh Hefner. Oh, I mean, shit, you just... She said Diddy got out here thinking he was Hugh Hefner and just got. You just proved my point. And you just proved my whole point. Next. Hugh Hefner did it for decades. Hugh Hefner did what Diddy did for decades. Hugh Hefner had the young girls, too. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Y'all know it. Y'all was looking at the Playboy. Y'all was looking at him. Castle said Hugh Hefner and Diddy are both scum. Well, at least you got a little bit of honesty in you. At least you're not biased. Boogie Ray, what it do? Big Energy says they owe us everything. That's why they don't want to admit it, man. Talk that shit, man. Listen. Why would they admit it? Why would they admit that they owe? Why would they admit that the government owes? They wouldn't. So that's why I don't care about the trolling. That's why I don't care about, everybody in here whining and crying. Rick List, you're probably not even black. You're not fooling anybody, dog. Joshua Matthews says Diddy needs 20 years. We gonna see what he get. Oh, at least we know he's not getting life. Diddy will be home, Josh. Does that make you mad? Diddy will be home. You dig? So I'm happy with that. All right. So if they give him 20 years, they probably knock some off the 20. He'll be home, though, sir. Don't be upset. I know you're upset. Oh, yeah, Dank. Hey, Dank says 5 million buys a pardon from Trump. Man, I bet you Trump pardoned that man. I bet you Trump pardons that man. I bet you. Coach Will says, do you have an ADOS designation? I don't have a problem with ADOS. I just don't know too much about it. It's not really my thing. I don't consider myself ADOS. Yes, I am an American descendant of slaves. Yeah, sure, but I'm not, really. Yeah, no. Kevin says, but Hugh Hefner sold magazines. Delusional. How is that delusional? Hugh Hefner flew in. See, let me educate you, sir, because you're just off. It went over your head. You're not in tune. You're not up to speed. Hugh Hefner was flying in models every day, having orgies at the grotto, okay? Same shit Diddy did. purchasing prostitutes and sex workers. Same thing Diddy did. All right. So, come on, man. You're delusional. Shout out to the Dublin, Ireland. What's up, man? Miles Freeman says, yeah, because he's on the tapes too, man. Y'all got to stop with these tapes, man. It was supposed to be all these cameras in every room. They got Justin Bieber and Usher, and y'all really just, man, y'all should really feel stupid, you dig, after watching the trial. But most of y'all didn't watch the trial or stay in tune with the trial. Geneva Phillips, shout out to you, man. Potato One. I'm not even going to address that because Diddy was not on trial for being a chomo. Diddy was not on trial for being a chomo. Shout out to you, Kevin. Wild Cherry says they want to watch those thieves. I don't know what the hell that means. Big Jake Power says, does it get on your nerves to have a line creased in the middle of your forehead after you take it? No, not really. These joints right here is cool. They not too bad. Now the other joints, man, they'll have a big ass line on your head. Edward says, Diddy pissed off the Big Liquor, was trying to sue Big Liquor, and they got him locked up. Potato One says, Diddy, not Epstein. Oi Boy says, stinky blacks. See, I know a lot of y'all like to sit on this app and talk crazy because you don't get to do it in the real world. I understand. This is your place to vent, man. I understand. I get it. Thomas Howell says, it's sad how much racism is still existing today, for real. I know people would never say this stuff to people in real life. Yeah, we already know. Ray Minnick, what it do, homie? Ray Minnick says, reading this chat makes me feel less intelligent. Angel Team No Limit. Nah, where you from, Angel Team No Limit? Shout out to the Bronx, man. Shout out to the Bronx. Cedric H says, that's why they letting Diddy off. He know too much. No. How? It's not the let off. The jury found him not guilty of those charges. He's not off for anything. It wouldn't make sense. It would not make sense to let him off. If they were letting him off, they'd have let him off. He'd be home. He's got 10, 20 years hanging over his head still, so he didn't let him off. You dig? Yeah, Cedric H says keyboard gangsters. Yeah, of course. That's what they are. We already know. Reading, PA, what it do? Hey, look, I'm out of here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will be back probably tomorrow, man. We're going to chop it up.